Welcome to a Gold Healing Proving Grounds guide for Restoration Shamans. These are the talents that I recommend grabbing. These are my glyphs. And this is what passes for my equipment. It's fairly balanced, but with slightly higher mastery and crit. Now, Restoration Shamans are very easy, probably one of the easiest classes to do healing proving grounds with, and that's primarily because of simply how powerful their single target heals are. In proving grounds, you really won't have to worry too much about AoE healing the whole group that you're in. It's almost entirely healing the tank, or just possibly topping off brief targets that have taken a chunk of damage. You really don't have to hardcore AoE heal. And in that case, shamans are incredibly powerful. You will not have to use your chain heal or healing rain or any of that hardly at all. You'll primarily stick to empower your weapon with Unleash Life, your healing wave, and of course your Riptide. And of course, remember to upkeep your Earth Shield at all times on the main tank. Pretty much the only thing you will really have to do is periodically just throw down your Healing Stream Totem on just about on cooldown, and that's really all you've got to do. Now in Wave 2, you'll start having to deal with these Aqua Bombs that get put on random people. It's just a debuff. Whenever it hops on a person, you dispel it. As you can see, it was just on me. As you see, I'm really not having to work hard to upkeep the tank. Just throw a Riptide on myself. Now, in this wave, you'll also have to, in the Wave 3, you'll have to start dealing with these annoying little verminads. And what these guys will do is they'll jump to a random person in your party, and they'll start apply a dot to them, which just ticks continuously. It ticks forever. It doesn't ever go away, unfortunately. Now, the only way to remove it is to heal the target up to over 90% of their HP. If they are not healed over 90% of the HP, the dot never goes away. So whenever somebody gets afflicted by that dot, simply throw that down. As you can see, they just put it on the tank, which is pretty simple because most of your heals are going to be geared on the tank anyways. So as you can see, I'm just spamming him back up, and the dot is gone. And as you can see, I haven't really focused on healing any of the party members really hardly at all. I've occasionally thrown a Riptide on them, you know, just tossed it out there. Throw down my Healing Stream Totem. But really, the only time you'll really need to actively work hard to heal one of your extra party members other than the tank is when they get that dot applied to them by the vermin. Make sure you pop their HP over 90% to remove that dot. Now, Wave 5 is the first of the really kind of difficult waves where you're actually going to have to work a little bit hard to keep everybody up. And for this reason is the wave I recommend blowing your Healing Tide Totem on. See, this guy's here. He's going to go ahead and burrow and apply that debuff to somebody. There's the effect right there goes out. Let me just carve in the Arcanist off really fast. And you might need to throw out some healing surges. You can see I'm going to throw that. And really, as you can see, other people's HP are getting kind of low, but it's not too problematic, so primarily focus on just healing the tank. He's the one that you got to keep your eye on. And of course, dispel that Aqua Bomb when it comes out. Spam that healing wave. Just spam those heals on the tank. And as you can see, everybody else will pretty much get taken care of. And you might worry a little bit about your mana, but to be honest, Shaman's mana, thanks to Water Shield, is just so powerful. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, Wave 6, you got to start dealing with these giant Mogu ads, which what these buggers do is they just hit really hard. That's basically all they do. And one of the things that I do to counter that I didn't have to do it this way this time, but I'll show you next time, is just throw your Spirit Link Totem down. That evens out the HP for all the damage being blown on your tank, and enables you to, of course, upkeep them. This time I didn't really have to because the DPS focused him down pretty darn quick. But in some of the later waves, you might want to just go ahead and throw that Spirit Link Totem down just to even things out. I also threw down a Capacitor Totem to stun them, just to, again, reduce that overall damage. As you can see, my mana is still really high. And the dot just got a Blight on Carvin. Top him off. Wait for the Mogu bugger to go ahead and power himself, which it'll be in just a moment. There that goes. Throw down the totem. And now, you don't actually have to worry too much about healing each individual. You can heal just one target. And he starts complaining about, I have a wall of iron, but I cannot hold it stronger. Yes, you can. You're fine. You see, I'm just going to throw out Riptide and the healing totems, and that's really all you got to do. See, just empower my weapon and throw that heal out, and then you can kind of just run around and dance. And after wave 6 is done, when you're on wave 7 and 8, you actually get a long break in between each fight. You actually have a bit of time just to sit and regenerate your mana, and as you can see, my mana is topped off. So if you're having a little bit more difficulty, I'm kind of being conservative just to show you that you don't have to spam Healing Surge and everything. If you don't really, just to show you that really, the healing isn't incredibly intensive for Shamans. Like, just their sheer output is ridiculous. So you don't really have to work too hard, but feel free, if you're having some issues, feel perfectly free in spamming some Healing Surge a little bit instead, maybe being a little bit, working a little bit harder with your mana, because it, quite frankly, doesn't really matter too much. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw my totem out again. And I'll just throw a Riptide on him, throw a Riptide on him, and you're pretty much all you got to do. And everybody gets topped off. And you have, like I said, a long time. This is usually the wave with a lot of healers where you're just kind of taking advantage of this time to regen your mana. But Shamans with Water Shield, which I don't even think I've got Water Shield active. Yep, the Water Shield must have fallen off. Even without Water Shield, you don't even have to really worry too much. Now, of course, the one thing that can catch you up is just how much damage your tank can actually just suddenly wind up taking. Like, you'd think he'd be completely fine, but nope, he can go from practically full HP to dead in the span of a second or two, which is really kind of annoying, just how spiky his damage can be. You'd think a tank would actually blow a cooldown or something there, which he probably does, but it's just not very powerful. So as you can see, I'm kind of overhealing him a fair bit, just to be on the safe side. And as you can see, I threw down my little Cloudburst totem. Make sure I'm dispelling, powering abilities, and healing him. And I'm not really having to do much. As you can see, it's pretty simple, straightforward healing. I'm not really having to desperately spam or blow cooldowns. In fact, I'm just kind of running and jumping in circles. It's fairly straightforward. Shamans are very easy in Gold Proving Grounds. Doesn't mean you can accidentally still fail if something goes wrong, especially with these big Mogu adds, which sometimes their burst damage can just catch you really off guard, especially if you're trying to top off another person, like I just did right there. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead and throw down the Spirit Link Totem, refresh our shield, and primarily focus on spamming on him. It's the final wave, wave 10, so no need to really conserve your mana. No need really to conserve anything. As soon as you've got enough time left, you might as well just throw out whatever cooldowns you've got left. You don't really necessarily need them, but it can be a good idea. There's the Bloodlust. As you can see, I'm just going to start spamming Healing Surge on the tank. Dispel. And I'll just throw down Healing Tide. Not that I really necessarily need it in here, but it's might as well blow it. As you can see, I'm just kind of using Healing Surge. You don't really need it, but it's the final wave, you might as well. And you see, I'm really not having to work hard at all in upkeeping. Shamans are just very easy. There's just too much of the damage is allocated on tanks, so you don't have to switch too much between healing healing the group and healing your tank, which makes healing fairly simple for Shamans. And there you go. Gold Proving Ground. So, for healing Shamans in here, don't worry too much about Chain Heal, don't worry about Healing Rain. You do not have to use those at all. Just make sure you upkeep the tank with your Unleashed Life, Riptide, and basic heals. Throw down that healing stream, just about any other cooldown you've got, anytime your raid group isn't just completely topped off. And you can use Spirit Link just as a safeguard when those Mogu come out, just to kind of help you upkeep the tank, because he can get burst down sometimes really, really quickly. And throw Healing Tide in Wave 5, and then again in Wave 10. Anyways, I hope this guide helps, and thanks for watching.